We are going to do ByeForever Spartans Legacy War recap. Yes, this is just a midweek war, and let's start off with myself. And then we'll hit some Leroy's. Anyways, using a dragon strategy, clone dragon suicide heroes. Now this is a definitely viable 2-star option, and I've been playing around with it, trying to figure out, do you bring more loons, do you bring more dragons, how do you get these bases down? Well, first of all, you want to use suicide lalo. Now, certain bases will be able to access the air defenses nicely. Other bases you might have to wall break in. You can bring bowlers if need be. If you would bring bowlers, I wouldn't bring more than 5. 4 is a nice number, you could rage up. Anyways, queen and king kind of creating funnel and taking down an air defense. Now from here on out, what are you going to clone up? How do you figure out where to enter? Well, I always like to try to enter away from the Inferno Towers as much as possible. Now here on this base, I could have come from 12 to 3, but I chose over here at 9. And what you want to do, you want to haste and then clone. Clone up here. Now this is what you're kind of doing. These loons here, it's just kind of a big smash galore. I could have actually put some loons up here, but I was like, forget it. I'm just going to go straight for the gut here. A little misplacement on the rage, I must say. And with that damage CC coming out, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good. And luckily, I did have an archer to lure away the skellies if those witches, if there was any skellies left. So here are the skellies in the middle, and I do have one archer. You definitely want to try to bring one archer. And do I even drop it though? I don't even drop the archer. Noob mistake. Noob Halo. No, what you want to do is drop the archer so the so the dragons do not get stuck on those skellies. What happens is they will be distracted by the skellies. That was a big mistake, but that's why you bring at least one archer. I like, try to maybe bring 3 or something archers if it's a fresh hit and you're not sure. 3 or 4 actually, or barbarians or whatever, to lure away the skellies so your dragons don't get stuck on it. Anyways, that's going to be a little more percentage, and we won't finish that, and that's how you do it there. And should we show Leroy's hit? What did he do? Oh, nifty. A little queen walk bowler valkyrie action on a base that you might encounter some of these. Now this is of course, these are midweek. I don't know what these bases probably were used in a CWO war, and they were probably 2-starred and then recycled again. That's what a lot of these invite clans. Now CWO is the elite war clan, very competitive. What happens here? These bases are usually only used once, and then in midweek wars they're used again. So I'm sure this base held up at one point. But anyways, going to lure the CC out and create a funnel for the queen. That was the whole point of the loons there. Creating funnel, luring CC, and here comes the queen walk. Gonna speed it up 4 times as we walk. He brought in the hog. I am not sure what the hog was for the lure as well. In case it was a hound, he needed to bring the hog to lure as well. So obviously, duh. And then he's gonna create a funnel here for his bowlers and king. Or use the funnel, and unfortunately he did lose quite a few of his healers. That air defense was taking him out, and in the core he only has CC. He has 11 Valkyries. Now that is quite a bit, but it can be very difficult to get to this town hall. The reason I say so, depending on pathing, look at this, guys. He barely had Valkyries going to that town hall. It can be very I don't know. It can be very dangerous with Valkyries. Sometimes they'll path right to the town hall. Sometimes they'll loop around it. Sometimes they'll go to the queen right away. But thankfully, you got the job done with a very nice high 64%. And let's just move on, shall we? Let's show some 10v10 action. And Mr. Jojo himself, going to be bringing in some, hey, a kill squad. You don't see this a lot. I know some clans or some players like to use kill squads. I don't know, kill squads can be very fickle. Sometimes you can get good value out of them, sometimes they just plummet, they just do nothingness. So it just depends, I think, on bowler bounce luck. I will say it's good AI if a bowler bounces very nicely, takes down what you need it to. Other times, they might get stuck on some skellies for, in one other attack, they might not go to the skellies or something, or they might not hit the king. So it really just depends, I feel like, on these kind of kill squads, what kind of the value they get. But we'll speed it up here a bit. And of course, what is he going for? He came in on the side of the air defenses. Trying to create that funnel. And I've been wondering, well, he didn't even take down a single Inferno Tower, but guys, he took down 3 air defenses. So the trade-off is very high indeed. and he's got heal. Now he doesn't have any freeze here, but it's okay. He's gonna bring in, here comes the Hound. It's gonna trigger all this stuff here. He's loading up at this southern Inferno Tower, gonna haste in, and he's got the heal spell for either gonna do it right after the first Inferno or he's gonna wait to the very end. We'll see what he does. There are different ways you can use that heal. Looks like he's gonna save the heal for the very end on this backside. Now here comes the danger part, of course. This is where we know it's very dangerous because you have all of your loons piling in, but look at this beautiful heal right at the last second. Back in loons as well, and that, my friends, is a beautiful attack from JoJo, showing you that yes, kill squads can do some damage, and yeah. Oh my goodness, a sneeze on camera. I think that's the first time I've ever sneezed in like 2 years of making videos for you. I should get an award for that. Anyways, JoJo coming in hot, and what else? Those are dips. Ooh, Mudkey. Let's show one more 10v10 and then we'll jump for the 9v9s, or maybe there's another 10v10. This is Suicide Lalo. Now, what are you looking for on these attacks? A couple things. You could either go, there's many different ways to get it. You can either go for air defenses, you can go to Inferno Towers, or you can go for queens on the Suicide Lalo. How do you figure out which one to go for? Well, it's kind of, you're looking for pathing. So if your Suicide Lalo can create good pathing, then that is a good option as well. Sometimes you can path right into an Inferno Tower with loons, if that helps out, if you don't take down the Inferno Towers. On this one, going to use the Skelly trick. Now, what is this Skelly trick, and how do you figure out how to do it? Well, what happens is you put the Skelly down in the range of the queen. It draws the queen out, and then otherwise you would not have been able to get the queen. She's able to get the queen with that Skelly trick, and taking down those as well. Now this is with a Hound. Now if there was no Hound in here, what could you do? How would you be able to do a Sui Lalo? Well, there's many ways. You could lure out the CC. I've seen that before. Or you use kill squads. A lot of times what happens if there's damage CC in these 10s, you'll bring a kill squad. The queen gets way huge value. You just kind of charge in and get the same, it's kind of the same. You can do a Gobo Lalo or straight Suicide Lalo. Bring some poisons. I don't know. There's many ways. Bring some giants. You don't always have to use golems. But look how many loons are up on the battlefield. It is insanity. Now, I will say he didn't have any back-end spells, and this could have cost him in the end. It would have been nice to maybe save a haste for this back-end because he had an expo and the air defense. But no matter, he still had tons of loons left. Now, if for whatever reason he didn't have as many loons at the end, it probably would have been a fail. But he had so many up that the expo and the air defense could not have taken it down. And Mudkey showing us that you better watch out, ByeForever, and every other clan out there. This was a nice attack. Nice indeedly do. Oh yes. Now let's let's move to some 9s, and then we'll come back to maybe a 10 or something if we have time for it. But here is some more a Gobo Lalo, and I'm just giving you strategies. Now I don't know. It's some of my videos I like to really teach, and sometimes I just like to show some 3 stars. How do you figure out what to use, Halo? How do you do it? Well, I don't know. Go back and look at my playlist. I have tons of playlists that you could watch that go into depth. And so every video I'm not going to go into depth. I mean, that's just not going to happen because one, it gets old probably for you to see that. And otherwise, there's plenty of videos out there that I've done that kind of help in this matter. Anyways, going to charge in with his queen. Now, of course, this was probably a fresh hit, so he didn't know what was in the CC. He was going to just charge in. Of course, if there was a Hound in the CC, it will slow the queen down, as it did. He did have some wizards there. Typically, if there's Hounds in there, you'll use your queen somewhere else on the battlefield and do a kill squad in. But here's a strategy for you, just kind of a, kill squad. No queen walks, no nothing like that. And what was the point here? The point was getting air defenses, obviously, and yes, getting the air defenses. Now, I like this entry point. He noticed the queen was coming to 9 o'clock, so this is why you come at 3 o'clock. You don't want to charge at 12 because look at the hounds. See how they're distracting the wizard towers and getting all those red bombs? Then you bring in the loons behind just as he did, and that is exactly what happened. And of course, you know, Sweeper not causing problems up there. He's got a heal spell for the back section. Queen is actually still working on a wall. We'll see how far she gets before she dies out. He's got a cleanup down. Unfortunately, he only has 1, 2, 3. He brought 5 minions, so he maybe could have brought only 5 minions. Maybe could have brought or saved a wizard or saved some more cleanup. He did have some hounds at the end, but quite a bit of defenses here. If time was going to be an issue, maybe if you ran this hit and time failed, you could bring maybe a few more minions or something like that, or save a wizard or what have you. But Lex Diamonds showing us the power of Lex Luthor. No, the power of Lex Diamonds. That is it. Let's see. Let's go. Ooh, Lex Diamonds had a 6-pack, but let's go to Lee's hit. Now you might see some of these bases. Now here we go. Here's a Suicide Lalo. Now what do you how do you figure out how to do this? How do you know how to take these bases down? Well, looks like there's going to be a hound and the CC. This probably was a second hit, obviously, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have done this. He's using king and queen to take down the enemy queen. There goes the ability, and everything on the battlefield is up. So now this is very dangerous. You know, 4 air defenses are up, all the wizard towers. All that the king and queen did was kind of create pathing and take down the enemy queen. So this is, you know, kind of risky. It's going to be kind of difficult for your Lalo, but he's going to create the pathing here. He's going to start kind of at 3. You notice he's going to go to the archer towers, to the cannon archer. He's going to swing around from 3 to 6 to 9 and then back up to 12, it looks like. And he's got all the haste for it. The haste do a lot of job. Here comes more loons. He's got so many loons up, you know, because it is a Suicide Lalo. That means all your firepower is on the loons. Here comes another hound in the southern quadrant. He knows where the Tessa farms are. He knows where the traps are because this is a second hit. And that, my friends, there goes the heal spell. Maybe, was it too early on the heal? I don't know. I mean, he got the 3-star, but he could have maybe saved the heal for this kind of upper section. But he's going to get the job done. And he's got 2 final haste for this back end section. And he crushed it no matter what. I guess the heal spell, it wouldn't have mattered. Honestly, if you put it anywhere, you just crush the space. Lalo. Yeah, if you need a strategy, give this a go. Hey, this is not going to only 12-minute video? Wow, not too long, so we can show some more attacks. Let's show another 10. Let's jump back to some 10s. I know we have some more 10s. Ooh, Leroy. Oh, is this a dip? Had to be a dip. Legend Killer, or maybe not. Anyways, let's look at Legend Killer's hit on this base. Wow, yet again another Suicide Lalo. Now how, you know, these seem rather difficult, right? I know a lot of y'all don't use that. Y'all don't like the Suicide Lalo because, well, a couple reasons. They're very hard, right? They're very hard, very difficult. So what is the point here? That whole section for those loons was to create some funnel. He's going to Suicide Lalo. He's going to break open so we can get both of these air defenses. If he puts his wall breakers right, he will get both down before the CC's lured. Here comes the wall breakers, and it opens up for the queen. Now, why did he have to use this over here? I mean, the reason he took that down, one, it helps queen pathing, so she won't loop around. He was able to create some funnel here as well, and beautifully executed. Beautifully done indeed. Gonna pop the ability, and with the queen ability, able to get down the Inferno Tower. More than likely, yes, there goes the Inferno Tower. And the queen? Are you kidding me? No, no, no. Unfortunately, no queen. She went to the king, but no matter. Golem in the CC. Oh, interesting. Trying to stop miners, eh? So, from here, guys, you have to see what's going on. Now, where would you start on this? I do like his entry. You could start up here, but see how the funneling is a little bit awkward at 1 o'clock? You see that? Funneling is way easier here. They just kind of nicely path around and into where you want them as well. So queen is going to chase, or no, she does not chase. She does not chase quite yet. He does have Tessas in the core. But this is, again, this is craziness as far as Lalo goes. Gonna just bring in all of his loons here, except 4 of the back end, and he's got a heal spell. Probably he's gonna put the heal spell towards Yep, right on the wizard tower. I knew that. And then he's going to put a skellies for the queen. Very patient on the skellies to make sure that that was in a good location. And yeah, look at that, guys. A 3-star for you. From Legend Killer himself, Max himself. Go visit his channel. He's got a Maxwell313 if you're a German. Actually, he does English stuff too, but he is a German YouTuber. Good guy, good content as well. And brilliant attack use of the Sui Lalo. And you know what? I'm going to watch that again because I want to show you why he did what he did at the beginning using those loons to get down that. And let me show you, because why not? I've got you with me. And okay, so you see the cannon here? He can't really do what he wanted to do. I mean, technically, I guess he could have used a baby dragon here as well if he really wanted to, but he wanted to use a wizard here. The baby dragon would have died. You know, he wouldn't have gotten all that he wanted. And the loons were just also triggering traps as well, so it kind of served a dual purpose and saved the queen. So queen had more life as well. Imagine there's an extra cannon right here. This cannon would have been hurting the queen, and because of that, that was really the main reason why he brought the loons in. He could have used a baby, but see, the cannon would have been killing the queen. She would already had to pop the ability, and then she would not have gotten down that Inferno Tower. Does that make sense? Now looking at it, that's why he didn't bring the baby. Saving the queen ability for that Inferno Tower, which is huge, and getting the 3-star. And JoJo had a 6-pack. Whoa. More Sui Lalo, guys. Look at this goodness. I'll just give you all the goodies. All the goodies of the Sui Lalo. Now, you might be fine, you know, these bases aren't like the top of the notch. I mean, these bases have been used before, and ByeForever does do good bases, but these have been used before. It's, again, a midweek war. But anyways, queen is going to get good value here. King is funneling for the queen, and the queen will step up. She's going to get air defense. She's going to get as well as the expo. Now look what happens here. You see how the skellies draw the queen in? I've said this before. Skellies are drawing the queen in. That means she'll step it. So she's not wandering around. She'll be distracted, as well as it's distracting the expo and the cannon and all that good stuff. That enables the queen to stay alive longer. It's a nice skeleton trick, guys. You've got to play with it. It'll keep her alive longer. It'll give her more value. And here comes the perfect funnel. Now, I do like going straight into the Infernos. Now, what are these, what was that for? He's just kind of clearing out this whole section here. Clearing out the whole section. So by the time he brings in the rest of his Lalo, it'll path nicely. Now, look what's going to happen here. Beautifully executed. Look at this, guys. Look at this, goodness gracious almighties. Got a nice freeze as well. He could have brought in loons on the sweeper. That actually wouldn't have been a bad idea. Maybe he intended to. He could have brought in some more, like just 2 loons for that sweeper would have been huge help. He probably would have crushed it even more. But because the sweeper is causing problems here. Look at that. Look at the sweeper causing problems. Look at that, man. Oh, JoJo. It's probably a YOLO attack anyways. But yeah, 1 sweeper can cause some serious damage. So anyways, still got the 3-star. Would have crushed it more if he just brought like 2 loons for that sweeper. Very nicely done. And I guess that'll conclude today's video. Just a little recap and showing you some variety of attacks. And yeah, hopefully you learned something. If not, you just enjoyed some 3-star attacks. That's sometimes fun to do. We'll see you next time, my friends. Halo out.